Good morning. This is a little video about a practice that I do that you might find useful too. So on weekends, usually Saturday, sometimes Sunday, I do a practice for the ancestors. And my grandmother passed last year. This is her, Phyllis New, and this is her on her wedding day. And then this is a picture of her with me and my dad passed, it's been like 12 years. And so my grandmother is particularly with me. My dad's around too, but for some reason I just feel her proximity more. And so I come and I speak to her a little, and I light candles on my mantle of my fireplace. And then I just briefly bow and speak to the four directions. So I'm facing to the east. And to the east, I recognize teachers of books and learning, thinking of all that I have learned from schooling and from everything I've read. To the east, I also recognize the wind and the air and the creatures of the air, so the birds, and I bow to them. So I'm going to bow. You get to see my floor. And then I turn to the south. And so now I'm looking out this door, or this window, toward my bird feeder. And to the south, I bow to teachers of the heart, and those who teach primarily heart-based practices, to teachers in my life, such as past relationships that have taught me via my heart. I bow to the creatures of the jungles, so specifically to serpents and insects. And I bow to fire and what it teaches us about extinguishing things, burning things up. And in this moment, I might also bring in fever and bowing to the lessons that fever add. Sometimes I add in the seasons as well, and so this would be a chance to bow to summer, whereas in that first one I could bow to spring. And then I turn another notch and I bow to the west. And as some of you know, I really love the west, so I am facing in the direction of the land that particularly speaks to me and to the Pacific Ocean. I bow here to intuition and to those who teach through intuition. And to the mystery and enormity of the ocean, and to all that lives below the ocean. I'm bowing here to the fish and all of the creatures there, and to water and the magic of water. Water to clean things, to hydrate, water to wash away, sometimes with great force, as in a flood, and also in a calming way, and to fall in terms of the seasons. So bowing there. And then finally I turn and face the north in my house. And to the north, I am bringing in the great mammals of the earth and the body and the ground, earth itself, and to teachers of earth practice, to teachers of the body, so those somatic geniuses who have taught me so much. And I bow to those other large mammals who inhabit this earth and who walk and leave their bones, which live for eons in the earth, reminding us of the infinity of death and the lessons of death, and to the great expanse of winter and cold and ice and to that kind of going on forever, which I realize is happening less in these times of climate change, but in my imagination, it is nonetheless an important lesson, this sense of infinity and of winter that can feel infinite sometimes, and bowing there. And then I just return finally to my grandmother and thank her for her presence in life, for all that she lived through, including her father's being here simply because her father, who was in the army at the time, survived the flu of 1918. And my grandmother, who had the presence of mind to get my father up to Minneapolis to be with Sister Kinney when he was 2 years old and came down with polio. And she acted swiftly and bravely, and he lived through polio and walked fine. So I bow to her and all that she saw in her very, very long life, and I thank her with great love. So may this be a practice that speaks to you, and adopt it. It's very, very adoptable. But thinking of the 4 directions, the 4 seasons, the elements, and different aspects of teachers in your life. Thank you.